y'all? So we back with another one today. Just a quick trade recap video of the trade that I took today. As you can see today, we made $4,433.86. This was copy traded also across multiple accounts, like 3. So really it was like 12 bands, but 2 of them are combines. So yeah. Friday we ended at 1950 on this combine, and then that Thursday we had a losing day, but that was the day that we started this combine right here. But so let's go ahead and look into the charts and see what I was seeing today and how we made our money. So I took my trade at MNQ today. Just because of the way the markets have been lately, like they've been real volatile, so I kind of like dialed it back and went to micros instead of minis, just for risk management purposes, just to save a little bit more. But yeah, so first let's just start on this hourly, right? So if you look right here, I'm just gonna do that so you guys can kind of see what I was seeing when we got into the markets this morning. All right, so these 2 yellow lines right here are the Asian highs, the Asian high and the Asian low, and then this red one is the London low, and then the London high was probably like right about here. So looking at this, I mean, there's a couple ways you could kind of look at this. So coming into the market, as you can already see, I already had the 1 hour fair value gap mapped out. But depending on how you wanted to look at this, right? So this is something that I saw that kind of made me want to get long on this position. Right here during the Asian session, depending on how you want to map this out, this can low-key look like just like consolidation if you just wanted to use the body of these candles instead of the wicks. So let's change the color. So right, so say this is the consolidation, and then London open, we had our manipulation right here. So we'll just boom. So immediately after that, what I'm expecting is distribution. So we had our accumulation, we had this manipulation leg right here at the start of the London, and then boom, distribution. So for me, I like to find my trades within the New York session. So all of this that's happening in London, I'm looking back on it. That's why this fair value gap is here, because that's where I'm looking to take my entry. I'm gonna look to take my entry in some type of imbalance in within the London session if it presents itself. But in today it did, right? So we had this 1 hour fair value gap, and I'm already expecting distribution at the open, right? So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna do this green for the distribution, because as you can see, these are the areas of liquidity that I have mapped out at the top. So these were going to be TPs regardless, right? So we'll just go ahead and put this distribution block green so you guys can kind of see what I'm thinking. All right. So now at the start, of course, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to go down to my 4 charts so you guys can see exactly what I was looking at. It might look a little confusing, but I'll walk y'all through it. So my chart layout that I have set up right now, as you can see, I have the 1 hour, 15 minute. So at the top right here, the top left is the 1 hour, top right 15 minute, bottom left is the 5 minute, and then the bottom right is the 1 minute. So when I tell you what time frame I'm looking at, just kind of, I'll try and keep y'all on the same track so y'all know what chart I'm looking at when I'm talking. So right here. So let's get back to the open. Which is right here. So another thing to keep in mind is at the open, a lot of times you're going to see manipulation. So price is going to go in the opposite direction that it really wants to go at the open. So that's why you saw that we had this sell off from 6 to pretty much 6:30. That was pretty much the manipulation for to begin the New York session. But like I told you, I already had that 1 hour fair value gap mapped out. So if you look here on my 5-minute chart in the bottom left, I had you can see this 1 hour fair value gap that was mapped out. You know, we're getting closer to the open. We open pretty much right above going into that fair value gap, the 1 hour fair value gap. So everything was looking great from there. So at that point, I'm already looking for entries. So let's zoom in on the 1 minute so you can see exactly where my entries were. And let me turn on the chart execution so y'all can see exactly where I got in and out at. Yeah, I keep forgetting I could just do that shit. All right. So now if we just pay attention to this 5 minute right here in the bottom left and then this 1 minute in the bottom right. So we got price to come down into this 1 hour fair value gap. You see I got one entry here early. I got in too early right here, pretty much like right at the start. And I just closed it out. I think I lost like $150 on that one trade. But then once we dug a little bit deeper and then I got a little bit more confirmation, and the confirmation for me, one thing I like to see. So if you look on this 5 minute candle right here, I love to see this 5 minute candle engulf the previous 5 minute candle just like this. So you see how this green candle is bigger than this red candle. That lets me know that the trend is a strong reversal. I feel like it's a strong reversal. Some people call it a 3-bar reversal or something like that. But yeah, so we got that. And then if we drop down on the 1 minute, we created a fair value gap that was bearish and then we filled it. So in my eyes, we inverted that fair value gap, a bearish fair value gap within a bullish fair value gap. So as you can see, I got one entry to test the waters, and then I added another 5. So that's how I ended up with the whole 6 contracts. So almost immediately we started pushing, and my main target was going to be the 50% of this new week opening gap, because that was the other thing that I forgot to mention, is that at the start of the Sunday session last night, we gapped down. So we had this gap here. So knowing that we're already trading below 50% of that gap, and we're pushing back up towards it, in my eyes, we're going to want to try and test the other side of that gap. And that's exactly what happened. So we got our entry within that 1 hour fair value gap. We inverted this bearish 1 minute fair value gap and then added to it, which was just pretty much our extra confluence. So once we got into that, I wanted to hold, since this was a combine, I didn't want to make more than 4,500 just because I'm just trying to pass it as soon as possible without messing up my consistency on this account. So I just put it pretty much right at the 4,500. So that's how we got the 4,400 pretty much for the day. But also how we could have held on to this trade for the rest of the day, because this is really what I would be looking at if I wanted to hold on to this for the whole day. You see, I already had these areas mapped out, which we had the New York PM. So let's go ahead and make this bigger so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, we had the New York PM low. This is from Friday session, because we started Monday. So Friday sessions, high and low from the PM session. Then we also had the high from that. Then we had the New York lunch that wasn't messed with at all. That was liquidity resting there. And then the New York AM. So as you can see, it pretty much went and swept all of that within an hour. Price moved from 16,750 or 700s, just say 700s, all the way up to 18,341. That's crazy in an hour. Damn. Some niggas made some money today. Because I made 4,000 and I didn't even stay in for half of the move. And then the 4,000 that I made was with a smaller, like it was like a smaller version of what I usually trade. So it was like I make less because it's cheaper, right? So what I would usually trade, if one of, so how do I explain this? It's hard to explain. So the one that I'm trading right now, even though I had those 5 contracts, that's only half of one of the main thing that I trade. So if I was trading my main thing, like the main thing that I trade, and I just had one, like I would have made 9 bands just from having one. So like if I would have had 5, because I'm allowed to trade with 5 because of how much money I have in my account. If I would have had 5, that would have been like $40,000 today, $45,000, just from the small move that I made, and that wasn't even the whole move. So if people stayed for the whole move, people made like hundreds of thousands today. Like that's fucking crazy. Niggas made money today. Wow. But yeah, sorry, but yeah, but yeah. So price went all the way and took up that New York AM high. So that could have been your target for the day. That would have been the target for the rest of the day. It usually doesn't happen this fast. Like this shit would have really taken all the way until the close of the session. That's what it would take. But it took out that high at 11 a.m. and the session was open till 4. And you saw I didn't even go anywhere near back up towards that high. But yeah, man, that's all I really got for y'all. So just kind of take that in. We saw the accumulation. We had our manipulation right at the start of London. So we were expecting distribution. We had the 1 hour fair value gap. Price came back into that 1 hour fair value gap. We dropped down into the 5 minute. We got an engulfing candle on that 5 minute, pushing outside of the fair value gap. Then we go into the 1 minute where we try to execute and get our entries for our trades. And within that 1 hour fair value gap, we inverted a bearish fair value gap. And that's where we got our 2 entries right there, which is just more confirmation that the price wanted to reverse and continue higher. And that's where we got our entry. Like I said, I kept my TP was just based on P&L. It wasn't based on the charts. But if it was based on the charts, like I said, it would have been a crazy day. But yeah, but that's all I got for y'all. This was supposed to be a quick video just so y'all can see the trade I took today. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Win or lose tomorrow, I'm gonna go over the trade and we're gonna see what happens. But yeah.